Hey, welcome to a new episode of my series Work with the Fear. And this is a retake of episode 4 because unfortunately the sound was off, the audio of the recording was somehow damaged. So now I'm going to try to redo the reading. I realize it's not going to be the same, but I believe that maybe this was somehow meant to be anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. And today's fear is public speaking, which is a very typical fear. A lot of us face this problem of public speaking when you are forced to say something in front of a lot of people, a room full of people, for example. And some of the symptoms of anxiety come up in a lot of us, like sweating, stammering, confusion. And now we're going to see if we can do anything about this problem, if we can somehow combat this problem that so many of us are struggling with. And like I always do, I will be talking about this one card, and I will try to highlight a different side of the fear of public speaking. And let's see if we can solve it. I have noticed that it's best to look at problems or fears in life as if they were, like a riddle or a game that takes off the tension, the anxiety, and when all these pressures are taken away from a problem, you can really start to feel better about yourself, and you can start to really look at it as if it was a game, and you can start to enjoy yourself. Public speaking. All of us are affected by this to some extent, but there are some people who seem to be enjoying the attention, the spotlight, and we envy them a great deal because it looks so effortless when they are doing it. And we who experience this anxiety, we know that it's a real problem, and it can make your life very difficult. But let's see how we can handle it. And it's a very different message than the one I got in the previous video. It's similar in a way that it is in the sword suit again. The card in the previous video was the Page of Swords. And even the image is somehow similar to this one. the Five of Swords. But the difference is that the Five of Swords calls for a more desperate action. So while the Page of Swords was about looking at the problem and trying to learn from it, I get the sense that today the cards advise us to really take it to the next level and look at the whole thing as if it was a war, a battle to win. And when you decide to go for it full force, when you decide to give it your best and not give up when difficulties arise, and they always do, trust me. So when you decide to commit to the battle, even if it's really hard and it looks like you will never succeed, that's when you do something worthwhile. That's the most valuable action that you can take in this situation. So let me clarify this a little more. I get the sense that it's about really looking up strategies and devices and weapons, if you will, to help you get rid of this anxiety, this fear of public speaking. So when you go to war, and even though it's a trivial situation sometimes, public speaking, it shouldn't be a big deal. But for some of us it is. And so it's fair to say that it's like going to war for some people. So when you want to go to war, it's important to be prepared. Otherwise, there's only going to be destruction and pain and a lot of suffering. But if you are properly geared and you are ready to fight and you are ready to, give it your best, then really you have nothing to lose. Then you're all in. And I get the sense that this is a very not an emotional, but it's a very mental problem. It's something in your head. It has to do with the intellect and with our thinking patterns. So you have to be very much aware of your own thinking and not let it work against you. Somehow when you are about to perform or do something that requires your full attention, you sometimes distract yourself by saying, "Oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm not any good. I suck." Things like that. And that's really sabotaging yourself. And that kind of behavior really works against you. But the title of this series is Work with the Fear. So don't let it work against you. If you are someone who has this difficulty with public speaking, I recommend that you take it seriously and read all the books available on the subject and go into the situation fully equipped with knowledge and tools, any kind of tools that you might need, rhetoric tools, psychological tools, the ability to read social cues and stuff like that. And if you do that, then you're going to be successful. I get the feeling that your previous failures, so-called failures, all come from a sense of not being prepared or not really wanting to do the thing, whatever it was. So you have to be committed and you have to be prepared and take it very seriously.